forgot, so did I. Number 4. You were? Okay. All right. Yeah.
So, how would you order? Like, what kind of made you want to go back for the Idol 100, and how was it different from the earlier seasons?
So, Doug and Ann, Doug Sloan was an acting coach of mine. Okay, from the very beginning of the Green Ranger, he was just an acting coach. He knew the producers. He came on set, started working with me, and then like, yeah, I'll write an episode. And he wrote an episode, and I'll do this, and I'll do that. And Nat, very helpful with me, because these are 2 people. Same thing. Barely working on Power Rangers. Next thing, I got a call from Disney. The executive producers, or the producers, was Doug Sloan and Ann Nat, who helped me out a lot during the shows, and as a friend and all that. So they asked me to come back to help them out, so I could pick ratings up because their job's on the line. So I did that, and then I haven't heard from them at all, ever, which is kind of, annoying. So I did that show. The difference with going back was like, if we were rappers and I was like Snoop Dogg, oh man, he's the OG. So when I went back, all the people knew who I was, and the kids were like, Kevin, everybody's like, man, I'm really excited to work with you, and stuff like that. So I think because they were fans, that's what made it different. So, all right, number 5.
I think that was me. Did you ever watch any of the Super Sentai series to prep for the series you did, or?
Well, we started to, because no one knew what Power Rangers was. I thought I was like it said Green Ranger, so I thought I was a Forest Ranger, you know what I mean? No one knew that word, Power Rangers, here in America, at all. I remember showing my brother the pilot episode, and I put it in VHS, put it in, pushed play, and he was just like, all this crazy, cheesy stuff's going on, and he's like, and then I stopped it, and it was just blank screen. He's like, oh, what do you think? He's like, dude, that was kind of dumb and cheesy, man. And then I started thinking, well, kids eat cheese, right? So I would say that they love cheese sandwiches, macaroni and cheese, cheese sticks. So it ended up selling and stuff like that. So I think it was a question. Did I answer it?
It was basically, did you ever watch any of the Super Sentai
Oh yeah,
series?
that's. All right, so when we started the show, we watched that, and they stopped having us watch it because there's a little bit more violence in that. So we wanted the violence, you know what I mean? And so it was a little bit more, hitting in the head and, stuff like that we wanted. And there was a lot of stuff that was cut out from my understanding. That might have been,
Like your dad?
Yeah, that was awesome. I was like, man, die. Like, no, like, that sucks. That's why, and Dino, Fighting Spirit was my favorite because I was, in the hospital. It was like a little bit of a, oh no, he's gonna die,
After the scene with the Megazord falling in the pit, the Japanese series cut to the party on the moon with Rita, and the guy who was the Dragon Ranger there actually tried to throw Rita off the balcony.
It's awesome, dude. I gotta watch it. So we gotta watch the clean version of it. But anyway, here's the next season with all the keys and all that stuff. So Saban's talking a little bit, so we'll see what happens. Probably scared of the tattoo. Role model. All right. Who was next? Yes.
You've always had some really cheesy fight moves in the show, like ninja corkscrew kick.
Jetty. Let me see you do this. Let me see how cheesy that is. Demonstrate it. Oh, it's too cheesy. Too complicated. Cheesy. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
But did you ever look at some of your lines and cringe on how cheesy they were?
No, you obviously have. Man, you have to understand that if you're gonna eat blue cheese, it comes from mold, right? It's like, right, moldy cheese, right? Is that what blue cheese is? So I can't, study the mold on it, I just accept the fact. So, because it was a kid, yeah, we complain all the time about cheesy lines, jokingly. And people think it's so easy to do, but let me see them do cheesy lines. It's actually easier for me to be more myself than to do cheesy, your opera. So, yeah. And so it is, I don't really, my little girl watches the show, so she's not allowed to watch any seasons except mine. She had a toy the other day. I did feel bad. It's the only time I told her. She's like, Daddy, look, look. It was like, I think from SPD or something. I didn't tell you. She's like, Daddy, look, Power Ranger toy. And I was like, that's not mine. That's not my season. She's like, I was like, no, I'm just kidding. It's mine. She, you don't want to let me down. But yeah, it was like, but I don't look at that. I'm not really likes that stuff. The only cheesy line was, oh, maybe I can still pull this off. Next line. Do you eat cheese sandwiches? Alright. Macaroni and cheese? Cheese sticks? Now, do you eat the white cheese sticks and the yellow cheese sticks?
Yeah.
Do you ever decide, like, if there's two of them, like, oh, which one am I going to eat, or do you just grab one?
Grab one.
That's me. I don't think about the lines then. You see what I'm saying? You don't think about the cheese. Like, I should get white cheese or yellow cheese. I don't know which one to pick. All right. Next question.
All right, so the show starts.
Snake, dude.
We have Austin as the lead show character, and everyone, all the kids are like, "Oh, I love this guy," but then you come in, and clearly, just like the show shifts to you. Was there any tension, like in the actor's part? Was
Of
he
course,
kind of like
I mean,
upset at first?
It kind of, like I saw on the Heartthrobs 80 and 90s thing on Facebook last night. And out of 100, they're like, you're number 49. I was like, ah. And then Austin was number 5. I was like, turn it off. I don't want to. He's like number 5. I'm like, what? How is it? I'm number 49 and he's number 5. And then I cringed. But yeah, when you're the leader of something and you have someone come in that just is there because they love it, they like it. I don't have an ego problem. It was one of those things. It was a job. Yeah, of course, when I said it's morphin' time for the very first time, it was like we're doing table reads, we're reading lines, and it's like, that's my line. I was like, jeez, man, why are you gonna scare me like that, dude? I was like, you can have the line. I don't care. Take the line. And so then the kind of three went to peace conference, but it was almost ridiculous where you're going from this kind of show then requesting like $1 million an episode or some ridiculous amount of money that like Friends only got 100,000. I mean, it was, for me, I just stayed in this group and kind of grew. So, tension for me was all right. I started coming in the front lines. But let me go back here. I liked the original 5. I liked the storyline. I just wanted to be left alone. I wanted to be the Lone Ranger, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be involved. I was just like, this is cool, man. I'm in the park practicing. Call me, save the day, So I was actually happy to do that. And then I started becoming the leader. And then, what was it, in Zeo when he became the Black and Gold? Right?
Yeah, the Gold Ranger,
Dude,
yeah.
he's got my best, man. This so sucks. So, of course, when I transferred into the other Rangers, I felt, if you ever cut your hair and you feel naked, I felt naked without my vest on. Because you have to understand, the coolest thing about the vest was when you're lined up in a V line, then I could just like casually turn without knowing that I turned, poke someone in the eye and go, oh, I'm sorry. And then like right there, I'm like, Zordon, boom, dude, where's your shield? That was about, for me, was the best part of the Ranger shield. So I do that with corn husks. I'll peel the corn and they'll all be long and then I'll just turn like this way, get something, and then just, it's on their face and they say nothing, and I'll turn. They just play off. Oh, I'm sorry. So, but yeah.
But the episode's just funny because it's like he's there and all of a sudden Zoran's like, "Yeah, you're the leader now," and his face is like, "Oh."
I think the funniest thing was when I became the White Ranger. It was like God. It was like, what? I'm like, hello, it's me. So yeah, that was funny. I was like, oh, put me on the wire again. So they're making fun of it, and people were like, come on, man, we really got to do this. Yes, we can't see who it is. And it's just like, me. Land nice and softly. That's right, baby. Yes.
Did you ever think Power Rangers would be as big as it got to be?
Well, two things that stuck in my mind about Power Rangers when I was the Green Ranger. Went to me, Dave, and Tammy, you need to wake up. You didn't hear these answers. She's sleeping. She's like, she's like, I've heard you all again. No, you haven't heard these. All right, answer it. What is it? What was your question? I forgot to. Oh, yeah. When did I decide that Power Rangers was a big hit? Don't sleep, Nancy. All right, so, Superman, I went to Universal Studios. We booked a tour at Universal Studios.